Championship on the line. Here we go from New Jersey. Oh, Hayden is down. Tommy tucks the front.
Hey, man, that's okay.
Oh.
He rode hard, and he was trying hard. I like that.
Oh, there goes Bostrom wide. That's going to do it for Hayes. Hayes gets Hayden as well and goes to second.
Wow.
Oh, my, what a move. Blake Young is going to win it. But the championship for 2011 in AMA Pro Superbikes is going to go to Josh Hayes for the second year in a row.
Unbelievable race. That was the best Superbike race of the year right there, Ralph.
Now the series returns to New Jersey Motorsports Park, the site of last season's dramatic season finale, and with Josh Hayes controlling the 2012 championship. Can Blake Young recover in his hunt for the title while fighting off the number 2 of Superbike rookie Josh Herron as he searches for his first Superbike win? This is the AMA Pro Superbike Championship, and it's only on speed. Today from New Jersey Motorsports Park, it's a Geico Motorcycles AMA Pro Superbike National Championship. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Scott Russell, and the motorcycle that everybody is chasing this year, Josh Hayes, is number 1. Scott, if nobody gets their act together real soon, Josh Hayes is going to be carrying that number 1 on the front of his motorcycle again in 2013.
Well, he's well on his way, Ralph. I mean, he's done all the homework. The team's done a great job preparing the bike. This year, I think he came in with a different attitude than he did last year. He lost the majority of the races to Blake Young. He's certainly turned it around this year. But I think at New Jersey this weekend, as we saw last year, one of the best Superbike races throughout the schedule. I think, again, if anybody's going to get up there and challenge Josh Hayes, this is the weekend to do it.
Well, a lot of the stars of AMA Pro Road Racing are chasing Josh Hayes and his Yamaha. A lot of riders are also chasing rides for 2013. And right now, a lot of them don't know where they're going.
Been asked of me a few times. It's kind of funny. I haven't received a single phone call other than to talk to the guys here at Monster Energy Yamaha. And you know what? They've been a pretty good team to me. I've been happy here for 4 years, and more than likely I'll be sticking around. Hopefully they'll have me and keep me around for a while and get to continue the work that we've been doing together. So that's looking like the best option I'm going to have, and it's okay because it's a good one for me.
Definitely want to be back in the paddock and racing the Superbike again. It's been a tough year, you know, this year in my rookie season in the Superbike class, but ideally I'd like to come back on the Team Hero EBR next year, and you know, we'll have a full year of notes, and you know, we don't have anything haven't even really talked about next year. So, you know, I'd like to get some stuff lined out here in the next couple of weeks, but as of now, just hopefully be back here in the AMA Superbike paddock.
A career at McDonald's, that's a possibility. I got a lot of my eggs in that basket. No, we got a sponsorship with Foremost already lined up for next year, so I'm pretty excited about it. We did a 2-year deal, and they're back on board. And other than that, I don't really know. I know we're going racing. Know we're going to race Superbike. Just not sure on what manufacturer or what we're going to do on all that stuff. So we'll find out hopefully soon.
Obviously, I want to ride. I'm an enthusiast. Love it more than ever. Just want to race. Don't have a ride next year. I don't think anybody knows. I don't hear any chatter anywhere in the paddock. So let's not say it's still early because there's only 3 rounds to go. It's getting quite late in the season. Hopefully we start hearing something. Obviously, I want to ride, and I don't know. I hope I'm back here.
And that's the weird thing, because normally those rides are all kind of lining up by now because people are starting to think about Daytona testing, which will be late fall, early winter, as they get ready for the season to start. Well, you see the bikes are back on the grid, and let's show you some of the storylines we'll be following as this race unfolds today. Of course, Josh Hayes, a big part of that story, Scott.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if anybody's going to have a ride, for sure it'd be this guy. How could you not rehire this guy? He had such a great marriage with this team, and they continue to win races, just dominate this year. So I don't see any reason why he won't be back with that same team next year.
A lot of stuff swirling around the Jordan team and what they might end up doing. Of course, Roger Hayden, a big part of that.
Obviously, he's had an up-and-down season as well, but I mean, I think Roger and Ben both are capable riders. They just got to put the race together and finish up strong, finish the year, and hopefully they'll have the same team again next year.
Well, this is a guy that could catch Josh Hayes on any given day. When Ben Bostrom is on his game, he is very, very fast.
And we saw him last year. We had a great epic race last year in the end, and I saw him take a ride off through the grass right there. But I think he's going to be strong today.
One guy who's in a great position is Josh Herron, and that's because he's teammates with Josh Hayes. He's learning a lot right now.
He is. I mean, he's on a steep learning curve. First year in Superbike, been around a long time, been with the Yamaha team, but he's in a good spot.
Wow, what happened here? Blake Young, where did it go?
It's all upstairs. It's a mental thing with him, and you know, I had a long talk with him earlier today, and you know, he's got to get back to having fun and riding. You know, just racing. You know, don't worry about anything else. Go out there and ride like you know how. So I think today we're gonna see something more from him.
Joining us down on the grid today will be Greg White.
Thanks, Ralph. And you know, it's been 2.5 months since Barber Motorsports Park that we've seen KTM HMC Racing's Chris Fillmore. Chris, welcome back to the Superbike grid. You're on row number 3 in a pretty decent position, looking at turn number 1. How are you feeling after being off for that long? How's the body?
The body's slowly getting better. You know, last week I went up to HMC to ride some Supermoto and get back used to riding a motorcycle, because until earlier this week, Monday and Tuesday, that was the first time I had a chance to throw a leg over a motorcycle. I don't have a whole lot of movement in my pinky on my left hand, but things are going good. You know, the lap times are really close, so we'll see what we can't do to put this HMC KTM up front.
All right, good luck to Chris Fillmore. We love hearing and seeing that number 11. Now, he's on row number 3, so let's take a look at row number 2. On the outside of row number 2 is Taylor Knapp, a great qualifying effort for the RiderDiscount.com rider on that Suzuki GSXR. And off to the front row, Ben Bostrom did a great job in qualifying. Yesterday, was able to sit on that time from yesterday and able to hold on to the front row. We've seen moments of brilliance from you here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. We've seen moments when you've fallen off the motorcycle. What is today looking like? How are you feeling now for race time?
Let's go for the brilliant end.
Right.
Those not so brilliant moments, they've been a little rough on the old body. So this place creates great racing. I think that it's going to be a battle. I look for the same players as last year, and I hope to come out on top this time, and it should be epic. We'll put on a good show for you.
All right, one of those players that Ben was talking about from last year's effort, of course, is his teammate in the Jordan Suzuki crew, National Guard rider Roger Hayden. Raj, good qualifying effort for you in 3rd spot. But let's talk about this race. Are you thinking about the race last year and how it went with the guys you've been riding with, and thinking that this is going to be a close one today?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it can be close. You know, everybody's really close besides Josh. Has a little bit of an edge on it, seems like. But, you know, we qualified well, which is important here because this is a place that's hard to pass. So hopefully I can keep this National Guard, Michael Jordan Motorsports, Suzuki up toward the front and put on a good show for all the fans out here today.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing what Roger has in store for us. And how about this? In 2nd place on the Attack Performance MotorcycleSuperstore.com entry, Steve Rapp. Great qualifying effort for you. You know, some people might be looking at this qualifying effort, Steve, and saying, wow, you know, Steve in 2nd place, that's pretty incredible. But if you remember last year, right, you led the race and set the fastest lap of the last race of the year. So where's the magic with this motorcycle and this racetrack, Steve?
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, you know, this is the first track we've come to and actually had some notes from last year. So it's helped us get up to speed quicker. And the bike just seems to really like this track. So see how it goes.
All right, and remember, Steve Rapp is coming off of a MotoGP effort where he took a full privateer attack motorcycle and was able to score 2 points in the MotoGP World Championship. That is incredible. But talking about scoring points, got pole point, it's Josh Hayes. Josh, last year's race was incredible, and we expect the same type of racing. Although you've had moments when you've really been able to just break away from the rest of the field. Do you have a race plan that you can let us in on right now?
Yeah, I go as fast as I can early on, and hopefully I will be riding around by myself. If that's the plan. If it doesn't, then I'm sure it'll be a melee like last time. We'll just have to see what happens.
All right, Josh Hayes, always a smile under the helmet. All these riders are ready and set to go racing, Ralph.
Okay, getting ready to go. As we take a look at the points here, Scott. Hayes out front, 75. Pretty comfortable over Blake Young, and Josh Herron's a ways back there. That's why we say it's going to be really tough for anybody to to catch Hayes, they're going to really have to get cooking right away.
I think everybody from this point on is really just racing for race wins, and glory at this point. I mean, the points are not looking good for anybody but Josh Hayes. But like I said, mathematically, this is racing. Anything can happen.
Well, and as you saw from the beginning of the show, the other thing you're riding for is a ride.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of unsettled stuff out there. We don't know where a lot of these guys are going to be, what teams are going to be back. So pretty sure we'll see that number 1 back, though, on the Yamaha.
It was the site of an epic battle a year ago. Will we have it here again today? Speed's coverage of the AMA Pros Superbike Championship is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Number 1, motorcycle insurance. Just about ready to go here. Let's get a quick report from Greg White.
Looking at number 79, Blake Young on that Yoshimura Suzuki. He qualified initially yesterday in 11th place. He's run into this thing mentally where he doesn't really show up on Friday to do the business, and he starts to shake it off on Saturday. I just talked to his crew chief and said, does he have the pace to run up front? And he said, well, I think he does, because he's able to go a little bit quicker on his the lap after he qualified in 5th place. He was 0.3 of a second quicker, but then pulled in. So we'll see if Blake Young's going to be a big factor in this race as well.
Here we go, Superbikes from New Jersey.
Boy, Roger didn't get a good start on that.
Sir.
Neither did Bostrom. He's fading back.
But Josh Hayes did. He's going to lead him into 1.
And Blake Young.
Yeah, Young is right there. And Scott, it's only going to take 1 good race. Oh, there goes Herron. Herron is off the course. Boy, that's going to kill his opportunity here. Getting back to Blake Young. Scott, if he could get 1 good race, it could turn everything around for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a toe right now. He's got the championship leader in his sights. Well, he's getting away pretty quick already. He's got Steve Rapp right behind him, so it's up to Blake to dig deep. How bad do you want it right now is really where it's at for him.
Look at Josh Hayes. It's just ridiculous.
It is. I mean, when you look at the qualifying, though, he had everybody covered by over a second, or 0.8 of a second, and that's kind of what 0.8 of a second looks like right there.
Boy, Rapp is pushing hard already. He's working Young. Rapp on the black bike and the black and white leathers, pushing the Yoshimura Suzuki 79 of Blake Young.
Well, I talked to him a little bit right before we started, and he felt like, that he's able to ride the bike hard. And he said, when I can do that, I know I'm going to have a good day. So let's see if they've made all the right adjustments on the attack Kawasaki and see if that's going to help Steve Rapp. Got a good run on the front straightaway. The Yosh Suzuki, no slouch. That thing's super fast down the straightaway. Look at Taylor Knapp making a move down on the inside of Jeff May, pushes him out, takes that spot away and won.
Taylor Knapp on the 44, May on the 99. The new daddy just had a baby boy. Oh, and look at that. Blake Young off course. And there goes Rapp. Mental error, Scott?
We just overdid it in 2 right there. As you come over the top of that hill, it's easy to run out of racetrack. If you don't hit your mark, when you turn the thing in on the front side of that hill, on the back side, you could run into trouble, and that's what happened. Looked like Taylor Knapp was kind of kicking at Jeff May there after he got by him. Maybe he thought Jeff was in his way or something.
Let's go back and watch Roger Hayden here on the 54, the white bike.
It just didn't look like he was really ready, like they went quick with the lights or something, because you saw his foot. Well, these guys got launch controls on this bike. I've never ridden a bike with launch controls, so I can't really say really what happened there, but obviously it did not go well.
There's Rapp, Young, Knapp, and May, all chasing Josh Hayes.
Jeff Mays rode good this year. He's really rode that EBR bike to its full potential.
This should be a pretty good track for the EBR, too.
It should be. I mean, he's looking around now. He's losing a little bit of ground on the straightaways to the Suzukis. But, I mean, this guy has really found a nice setting with this bike, and he's able to ride it. The 69, Danny's still looking for that.
That's excellent. And the reason why I say that, Scott, is this is certainly a handling track, and everybody talks about the handling capabilities of the Buell.
That's
EBR,
right. Yeah.
Eric Buell Racing Machine.
It's still in a real development stage, and obviously when you come out here and try to do battle with guys like Yamaha and Suzuki, it's tough, but they've done a great job. Look at Larry Pegram. He's made the move down on Destic right there. Got a good drive over that hill. Sorry, Chris Clark.
Yep, and Bostrom is back there in the white and purple. Ben is holding down 9th. You mentioned Pegram. Larry's back in 13th on the 72.
Fillmore right there, he's looking for a way around Essex. Boston trying to fight back from the bad start he got as well.
Oh, one rider is off.
That may have been Rapp, possibly.
Could very well have been. Yeah, it is. Steve Rapp, unfortunately, out of second place and off the racetrack.
Well, he was in second spot, and you could see Hayes has already made a gap. He probably tried to push a little bit hard early. You got to remember, this bike's still got a full fuel load on them, so they're not going to handle quite as well as they would as the race goes on. So the tires pushing it hard early on in the race, and Steve Rapp's out.
Boy, what a shame. He was running so good as we see Boschem getting around Fillmore. Fillmore on that KTM. Such a wild-looking machine.
It's cool. It's a cool-looking motorcycle. I hope they'll be back next year. There's talk of it possibly, and maybe even adding another rider to that team. We'll wait and see if there's any official word in the future. But
there's Pegram on the 72. He's got Ulrich right behind him. Chris giving him everything he can handle. And we talked about Pegram earlier today, not knowing exactly what he's going to do next year. And what he means by that is not sure what bike brand he's going to be riding. He knows he has Foremost. He knows he's going to run in the Superbike division. It's just a question of which brand of bike he'll be competing on. And right now he said, I'll talk to anybody and everybody. And he was planning on doing a lot of that this weekend here.
Well, I mean, you need to start gearing up for your stuff next year. So it's good to have the funding in place, just finding the manufacturer that you want to ride with. And it's kind of nice to have that option.
Yeah.
He's working on David Anthony right now.
Anthony on the 25.
Chris Ulrich right there behind those two.
You see Roger Hayden just in front of him. Coming out onto the front straightaway. Oh, here's May going to work on Young. He's gotten around Taylor Knapp. That's a fight now for second between those three riders. And long gone off in the distance is Josh Hayes. Not seen here.
He's in another zip code already.
And Scott, it's amazing to me, too, because everybody said this is probably the one place he won't be able to do this at because it's such a tight, tough, twisty track. But guess what? He did it to him again. We'll be right back. Back here in Millville, New Jersey, all part of the big Geico Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Weekend here in New Jersey Motorsports Park. Last year, this was the season finale for the AMA Superbike Series and all the other divisions. We've got 2 more rounds to go. Speed will be bringing you all the action from the remaining 2 rounds of the Big Kahuna Triple Crown this year. We're off to Homestead, Miami next. That's in 2 weeks. And then we'll wrap it all up in October down in New Orleans, the new NOLA circuit. And when we get there and have the banquet on Monday night down there, pretty sure Josh Hayes is going to get that #1 plate again. Look at the Young here battling with Taylor Knapp. Jeff May was right in the thick of this fight with these 2 guys when we left you, and he has lost touch with them now.
He's still running in the 4th spot, but he's a 1.5 behind these guys. Maybe their pace has picked up a little bit. Not sure what happened. He may have made a little bit of a mistake, but still running strong on the EBR. And Taylor Knapp really a surprise on that last podium spot right now in 3rd.
Well, Scott and I have done our best to hide our booth here at the racetrack, but Doug Henry found us anyway. Good to have the Moto Star here with us, watching from the booth. Doug, nice to have you back here. First time in New Jersey.
First time at this track. Yeah, it's been quite a day. I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while, and for me, Supermoto was my last passion of racing, and it's just really fun to see a lot of the guys that I competed with quite a bit on the Supermoto circuit still racing Superbike and Super Sport, and it's just really neat to see everybody, and it's family. It's my family. Racing is my family.
And with that Yamaha logo emblazoned on your shirt, I know you're probably not too bummed to see Yamaha stablemate Josh Hayes running so well today.
No, it's amazing how well they just got their package. Any racer that's gotten to that level of winning knows that it's a multiple it just takes everything. It takes the bike, the people, the rider, and the luck. So he just has a lot of that going for him, and you can see that's why he's up there in front.
Well, here's why Jeff May is not fighting for second place right now. Wide in one.
Just ran out of real estate, didn't he? But he's lucky. He was able to get back on the track pretty quick and still holding that 4th spot.
We'll see if he can catch back
look
up.
like he's got him back in a bit.
He can see him. Doug, you know, I've done as much as I can to get Scott's opinion on this about Blake Young, and I know you're a student of racing, the game itself. We've talked a lot about the mental aspect of the sport and what Blake Young is fighting through to get that confidence going. From your perspective and things you've seen and have witnessed and experienced yourself, how tough is that to do to get yourself back feeling confident?
It takes a lot. There's a lot you have to overcome, and you know, you really just got to think yourself. I heard Scott mentioning earlier, you know, you just got to get back to racing and what you love about racing, and you know, focus on yourself, not worry too much about other people. And you know, with racing, 90% of racing is mental, and I learned that. Luckily, I learned that in my career and worked on that. I worked on the mental side of racing so much, and as a result of that, I was able to win races and championships. And if I didn't do that, I would just be, you know, running around 3rd, 4th, you know, 5th, who knows. But that mental strength is something that every racer needs to work on. You know, some people kind of have a little bit more in their back pocket than others, and some people have to work on it. And I was fortunate enough to meet a few people that helped me out. David Bailey, a former motocross champion, supercross champion, just talking to him just really helped me out. And you know, the weird thing about breaking my back in '95 was I had time to sit on the couch, and I had just come off a couple of wins, and I knew what it was going to take to win. I won some races, and I knew that if my body came back to 100%, my mind was there. And getting the body back is a lot easier than the mind.
A lot of guys working on that out there today as we watch Eslick on the 69. He's fighting with Anthony and Ulrich, and they're chasing after Josh Herron. And it's interesting because Herron had his issues.
Yeah, Danny right now, obviously, he's got his hands full right now with David Anthony right now. As Anthony looks down the inside, down in turn 1, he's going to run it a little bit wide. That's going to take that spot back around as they dive over the hill in turn 2. Bike's going to get light. They accelerate off the back, bounce off the curve, flick it into this right-hander right here. This is one of the roughest parts of the racetrack. A lot of chatter bumps in here. So getting the bike to turn from right to left quickly, getting the bike up off the edge of the tire and getting able to drive it off is really important.
I tell you, Danny Eslick, he was an awesome supermoto rider to watch. He could, you know, he was one of the guys that could really slide that thing around with the knee out. I remember going up to the fence and just watching him come around this big left-hand sweeper on the gas, knee out, pitch sideways. I mean, it's just cool, the different styles that riders have when they go to supermoto racing.
Yeah, we've seen that. You know, some of the guys try that knee out style, the red race style. Obviously, those bikes aren't really, you know, don't have a lot of weight on the front end, so it makes that can be tough. But Eslick, man, I'll tell you, when you put something under this guy that he's happy with, I don't think there's a better rider on the racetrack. I think he's capable of winning. His package right now is not ready, but I think he is a rider. I think he's as good as anybody out here.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to riding style, strictly as a fan talking here, I love watching Danny Eslick ride.
He is fun to watch.
He is fun to watch.
On. Yeah, he is, I'll tell you. And it's like Doug, bringing you to the fence. You know, he brings all of us to the fence when he rides like that.
Young, right here, hanging on to second, and he's got a group chasing him. Taylor Knapp, Ben Bostrom, who's fighting his way up through the field, and now Jeff May has rejoined the fight. 4 riders challenging for second place here. 13.5 seconds behind Josh Hayes right now.
Yeah, watching that EBR on the 99, he's back. He's able to run in. Look how he turns in early. But he's still able to get that thing to turn and come off the corner pretty nicely. So the bike obviously has got some nice attributes about it, and handling being one of them. I think right now, a little bit down on power. But right now, they found a great setup with that bike for the 99.
And there's Josh Herron right there on that monster-backed Yamaha. Scotty went way wide at the start of this thing, and he has fought himself all the way up to 9th. Pretty impressive comeback.
It really is. Heron, hadn't really had the best of weekends so far. Started out in the 9th position. That's kind of unlike him. Just missing the setup on a Superbike, it's tough. It puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit, and then you make a mental mistake or whatever happens in turn 2 on the start. Dead last. He has done a good job to fight back.
Halfway here, New Jersey, Josh Hayes leads him again. On September 20th, Speed's going to be bringing you the greatest collector car auction in the world. Barrett Jackson's going to be live from Vegas. We'll have all the finest, rarest, and most incredible cars on the planet all in one place, and it's all up for grabs from Sin City. Live Barrett Jackson coverage begins September 20th, only on Speed. It's going to be a great show. Hey, Russell, if you still have that old 1960s Volkswagen Bug that was your first car, think of the kind of money you could get for that hot rod out there.
I know. Those things were hot items back in the day. Now, apparently, they're even hotter. So
you had the big megaphone exhaust coming out, didn't you?
Mine wasn't in exactly mint condition, let's just say. I don't think it was Barrett Jackson worthy, but nice to think about it that way.
Well, with the riding bonus that Josh Hayes is going to get for winning this championship, he could probably buy something pretty nice out in Vegas there, Greg.
Yeah, he certainly can. And, speaking of Josh Hayes, I'm sitting down in pit lane under the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha tent, and we're looking at Josh's backup R1. Now, one of the things that his crew worked on all season was making this bike more raceable for Josh. One of the things that they have done is through their sponsor braking is that they started using 320 millimeter brake rotors. What that means is you'd measure it from one end to the other, it's 320 millimeters. Now, what that does for the motorcycle, very simple. At the exact same brake pressure from, say, 310, which is what they used to run, you get more braking force. Now, how do you change the whole system in order to accommodate 320 from 310? Simple. Add a couple of shims where the brake caliper meets the forks, and put them in, and you're all set. Now, what braking did was redesign these a couple times and work with the team in order to get them to work the way Josh wanted him to. He wanted to make this motorcycle more race ready for Blake Young because he wasn't able to get Blake on the brakes.
Chris Clark diving down pit road. And he wasn't feeling too good.
No,
he's been very
good.
sick this week.
Looks like he's really sick right now. That's the problem. Toughing it out, tried to get through it, but sometimes, man, he's going to try to get back on the bike. Sometimes you're not feeling it, just park the thing at this point,
Following him on Twitter this week and everything, he was, just under the weather. Just one of those days when things are just not good for you, Not a problem for Josh Hayes, though. Let's see how big the gap is now. Last time it was 16.5 seconds. Blake Young should be the next one across the line. And let's show you how big the gap is. Wow, this is impressive. And it is now 17.5. Pretty impressive, Doug Henry.
That's a nice lead. I wouldn't mind having that in any of the races I've won.
Speaking of races, before we let you go, what else you got coming up? You've battled through so many adversities in your career, and like a true champion, you're still having at it. So what are you doing?
No, not too much. If they have any adaptive races, I'll be in them. Snowcross, motocross, whatever it is. I love it. I can't get it out of my system, and I'm just going to keep riding until I can't.
Well, it is great to see you here. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy your week and your first visit here to New Jersey Motorsports.
All right. Thank you very much. It was good talking to you guys.
Blake Young continues to run in second. Ben Bostrom sitting behind him now, taking his turn and trying to find a way around the 79. Blake Young has been doing a good job running in second place here today at New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville, New Jersey. He dropped back to third only briefly. Steve Rapp lost it on the number 15. Young has gotten back into second on the number 79, Yoshimura Suzuki, and he has stayed there ever since.
Yeah, these guys have done a good job to fight back, really. I mean, Taylor Knapp's done a good job to stay there. Boston to fight back. May's still in the hunt. That looks like Josh Heron bucking and waving as he comes over the top of the hills. He's in front of Larry Pegram, and Roger Hayden right there fighting hard still. But, I mean, man, it's just amazing how much faster Hayes is than everybody. 120.7 on an outright lap time. The next closest guy's a 122.1.
2 seconds, Scott.
I mean, man, it's like, really?
You know, when you talk to some of the people about that and the crew, some of the things they talk about, first, a lot of them mention the engine design and how this Yamaha is delivering the power to the ground. It's very usable, getting all the power to the ground. The other thing you hear from the different members on the team is how hard Josh works as soon as he hits the racetrack. He comes prepared, helmet on, visor down. As soon as they open up practice, he is flat out. This is not a guy that takes half a dozen laps to warm up. He is open throttle, ready to go, runs every lap of the session, runs them all hard, and brings a ton of information back to the team so they're able to dial the bike in throughout the length of that run right away. So as he gets to a race like now, they know how to set that bike up so it just gets faster as the race goes on.
That's right. You know, last year his fastest lap was a 121.1. So they've done a great job making that motorcycle better this year. He's like you said, prepped early. He's ready. He's out there every lap, pushing hard. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't take him long. He's right on the pace immediately, where the rest of the guys take a day sometimes to get to their pace, and then their pace is a second off. So he's made life tough for the whole AMA field this year, and really upped his game from what happened last year.
Well, look at what Greg was saying earlier about Blake Young, how he struggled a little bit on Friday, gets a little bit better on Saturday. That's not where Josh Hayes is at. Josh Hayes is here, first practice on Friday. He's just like he will be at the end of the second race on Sunday right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's how good the package is.
Yeah.
And that's how good he is. And when you get that combination together, I mean, that's almost unstoppable. I mean, there's just no telling if this guy could go on a 2 or 3 more year run like this. If I don't see anybody close enough to really stop him.
No, not right now.
So, you know, talking about him not having a contract, I don't think that's a worry at all for him. Boston's got a good run right here. Can he do anything with Blake Young? He's followed him around a little bit, worked hard to get back to him after not such a good start. Now he's going to go to school a little bit. He's got 6 laps to figure it out.
The only thing Josh Hayes is worrying about in his contract is the number of commas and the number of zeros.
That's right.
That's it.
And they need to add something to that from the way he rides, too. So it's tough times in the world right now, but thank God for Yamaha. Look at that.
How about Chris Ulrich getting around the 69 machine of Eslick here? Those two have been battling over 11th for quite a while today, and right now it belongs to the 18 of Chris Ulrich.
And you know, Ralph, talking about Chris Ulrich, one of the things we saw Chris Clark, he's battling sickness. Chris Ulrich just got back from Spain, where he was working for the magazine he works for, Road Racing World, testing a new motorcycle. He's got to get off the plane, come here, and fight off all that jet lag and then refocus and come racing. So a lot on the plate. A lot of riders out here like Josh Hayes, they race for a living, where a guy like Chris Ulrich is trying to make his way in racing while having another job and being a father.
Well, every time you read the magazine, he's somewhere around the world testing something. You're right, Greg. It's a normal part of his life. The rider on the M4 RoadRacingWorld.com Suzuki. Bostrom and Young continue to battle with Taylor Knapp right there, trying to see who's going to be where on the podium as this one winds down. Speed will have the finish for you when we come back to Jersey. This is a good fight for second place here. AMA Pro Superbike Series, National Guard back championship. Watching Blake Young out in front of Ben Bostrom and Taylor Knapp. 2 of these riders are going to be on the podium.
There's a lot different look last year when we were here for Blake Young. It was a bit of a desperation weekend, desperate move. You know, that race was epic, and Ben Bostrom was a part of that. He ended up getting the short end of the stick at the end of the deal, flew out through the grass, but he's looking to make that better today. And you know, Blake's really riding a lot better than he started out his weekend as well. So these guys have made nice progression throughout the weekend, but still no inroads into the huge gap between themselves and Josh Hayes. Is in a own little world out front.
It's over 20 seconds now between first and second place.
Well, as a rider, those are the ones you love. I mean, those are the nice when you're out front doing your own thing. You're racing the racetrack. No pressure from behind.
21.8 to be exact. 3 Suzukis here fighting for those final spots on the podium behind the Yamaha. And Josh Hayes. There he is on the monster back Graves Yamaha. Scott, all kidding aside when I say this, I mean, when you're that far out in front, he has already tied Matt Mladen here this weekend for poles in the season. And now, you know, you're chasing him on the win list, and Miguel and those guys. He's going to separate himself from Ben Spies. Pretty heady company he's up there with. How does he keep himself from getting bored on a day like today? And I don't mean that in a joking way. When you're 20 seconds out front, I mean, you've got to keep yourself focused at these speeds.
You do. I mean, this is his job. I mean, he's so focused, like you spoke of, when he show up in the weekend and you start out that strong. You're totally focused. He doesn't have a problem focusing. That's not a problem. Motivation, I mean, for me, it wouldn't be hard. I'm out here to win races, and he's having it his own way. I'd stick around as long as I could and win as many races as I could. And at the end of the day, if the record books say I'm the best, whatever. But at that point, you just kind of keep doing what you do, you know.
And Bostrom has second place now with 3 to go. Here's how he got the job done. Under braking. Young goes wide, opens the door. Back on the throttle goes Bostrom quickly, and he's able to power through.
You know, by being right there, though, Ben gave himself a chance to take that spot. That door may not have opened another lap or so. So being right there, capitalizing on a little bit of a mistake by the 79. Not a big mistake, just a little bit wide. And that's all it takes.
His teammate Roger Hayden has run wide and has lost a fair amount of positions. Let's see what happened to the National Guard Suzuki number 54. Is down in turn 1, battling, looks like, with Larry Pegerman there.
Well, coming off down that front straightaway on the Superbike is super fast, and you arrive at turn 1, it's downhill, just a little slight, you know, misjudgment on your braking, and there you go, off the racetrack. Could have been what happened. We didn't really see what initiated that, but I'm guessing that's what happened.
2 laps to go now as Hayes has already crossed the start-finish line. And Bostrom starts to build a gap between him and Blake Young.
Good lap by Bostrom, that down by a couple of tenths quicker. You can see that right there on the TV. But hey, Heron, this guy's had a great ride. Running off the track in turn 2 on lap 1, dead last. Has fought his way back to 6th position. And he's trying to reel in the EBR of Jeff May.
It's a very impressive ride.
It is. I mean, the kid's got all the equipment right here. He's got a load of talent. Just harnessing that talent and putting it to good use, and that's what he's done out here after a huge mistake on lap 1. You know, he's had shots at winning already this year. Barber made a couple of mistakes, so I think when Josh puts the race together, I think he's going to have somebody. But right now, I think he should be the guy running around in second spot, and he knows that. So.
Yeah.
He's got to work on that for tomorrow and then can't make that mistake again.
I was going to say, he's certainly shown that he has the speed to be on the podium here this weekend. 1 to go for number 1. And you know, Scott, as he's padding the record book here on these Hall of Fame stats that he's building, the thing about Josh Hayes is that you're not going to be able to put an asterisk by his numbers at all. It's not about the motorcycle. Sure, it's a good bike. This rider's outstanding. It is just a perfect match between the two, and it's not like he's beating lousy competition. He's beating some great riders. He is. I mean, it's almost like this guy needs to go to Europe and see what he could do over there. I'm sure he could compete at the top level in the World Superbike. We saw what he did last year at the end of the season on the MotoGP bike. Got the call, filled in for a hurt Colin Edwards, and came over there and really rode well. And so there's no doubt he's world-class talent. He's showing that again today. He's shown us all year how strong and how dominant he is. And, man, when you work that hard at something, you deserve it, you know, and he's getting everything he deserves. We talked earlier about how he tied Matt Mladen this weekend with most poles in a single season. He is about to separate himself from Ben Spies. 3rd all-time, he will be all by himself on the career win list in AMA Superbike competition. And with this win here today, it will be his 12th this season, which will tie him with Matt Mladen for the most wins in a single season. He's done it again. Josh Hayes wins here in New Jersey. And of course, he could break that record tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, the fight for second. Here comes Ben Bostrom on the 23. Young trying to make a run at him. Can he get him off the final corner? A bit of a bobble right through the middle of the turn.
That cost him.
It did, and Bostrom will take second position.
You look at what Hayes just did. He lapped up to 13th position. Guess who's next guy in line? That would have been Danny Essen. So that's probably his most dominant performance of the year.
On the track where everybody said, oh, he won't be that dominant
Yeah,
here.
well, he just sorted them out on that.
He is. A record set in 2007 by the great Australian rider Matt Mladen, and Josh Hayes has just tied it. Oh boy, how fun would it have been in the category of what ifs to see Mladen on that Suzuki and Hayes on that Yamaha right now? I'd pay for that one.
Oh yeah.